Hey everybody, Jake here for American Trucks, and today I'm chatting with Darren about his 2020 Ram 1500 Laramie. For wheels, he's running the V-Rock recoils with the satin finish. These are 20 by 9.5 inch with an offset of -5 millimeters. He's also got the Mammoth 2-inch billet wheel spacers, so this would make for an aggressive stance with a little bit of poke. For tires, he's running the Open Range ATs. These are 295/60 R20s, equating to about a 33 by 11.5 inch tire. And then for suspension, he's running the Rough Country 3.5 inch bolt-on suspension lift kit with the lifted N3 struts and premium N3 shocks. What made you choose this setup? Was there some kind of inspiration for your build?
It's my daily driver. It rarely goes off-road. A friend of mine put a leveling kit on their truck, same year as mine. And I just decided that I wanted a lift, right? I didn't want to take the usability out of my truck. I went back and forth between a 6 and a 3.5 inch lift. I felt like I'd lose a little bit of functionality with going higher. Also, I didn't want to compromise handling. I wanted some good handling. I've got a little bit of street car in me, but I wanted the truck as well. So that's why I made that decision to go with a moderate lift, I guess you could say.
Let's talk about those wheels then. So again, you're running the V-Rock recoils with the satin finish, and they are 20 by 9.5, so you've got the -5 millimeter offset. And then those spacers, the 2-inch Mammoth billet spacers, make for a pretty aggressive stance. So about the wheels specifically, what do you like about it? What drew you to it initially?
You look around, everybody's running black these days, right? It just seems it's all black. My truck has the chrome bumpers, it has the chrome grille. I wanted to try to keep that blend all the way around the truck. So that's why I went with those wheels. They had the spoke design that I was looking for, but they also weren't all black and they had enough flair to them to tie the truck together. That's what I was looking for.
So I want to talk about the stance too, because you have those spacers, so it changed things a little bit. So again, this is more of an aggressive stance now because you have that -5 millimeter offset on the wheels, but you've got that 2-inch spacer. So that wheel would normally sit pretty flush, but now you've got a little bit of poke. So you were thinking you were going to keep it pretty flush initially when you bought the wheels?
Yeah, that was my original thoughts. And the spacers were an afterthought. I wanted to keep my tires tucked underneath my fenders, right? Because I didn't want, you would say a lot of road rash, which I thought I would get a lot of road rash. The funny thing about the Rams are, it looked like the truck got narrower as I went up in the air. I couldn't get past the look. I wanted an aggressive look, and that's where, thankfully, you guys had those 2-inch spacers because I wanted that more aggressive look, but still maintained good drivability. And this hit it. It nailed it right on. I mean, it just nailed it. It drives so nice.
I want to jump over and talk about the tires a little bit. So again, for tires, you're running the Open Range ATs. These are 295/60 R20s, equating to about a 33 by 11.5 inch tire. So these are only slightly larger than what your truck would have had from the factory. And your truck would have had, I think, 32s. So what made you choose this size? Because you went up a little bit, but not too much.
I wanted to keep a little fender gap, right? I see people running around that are filling their fenders up with tires, and I guess it wasn't the off-road look that you get. That's more of a street look, I think, if you're going to fill your fenders wells up, which I went back and forth with that with a 22 or a 24-inch rim, right? But overall, I think I wanted some gap to make it look like I had suspension travel, right? To not take that away from the look of the truck.
They're designated as an all-terrain, and I know you're using them, you're driving the truck every day on the road, you're hitting some obstacles. How have you found them to drive? Have you noticed an increase in tire noise? Is there any bumpiness, especially versus your stock setup?
No, it's so much better. As soon as I put the lift kit on it, I went straight to the shop and had the tires and wheels put on, got the alignment done, right? That's something I couldn't do at home. And noticed an immediate, so much better ride than factory. And it just smoothed everything out, I guess. That's the only way that I can explain it. But the ride is so much better than factory with this combination. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then sticking to the road, right? I like to take corners. I like to take them fast. I like to drive a little bit aggressive when I can, when it's safe to anyway. It leans into those corners so well and it holds so well with this combination. So I feel like I got the best of both worlds.
Since you upsized these a little bit, did you notice any error with the speedometer or odometer after you got the wheels and tires put on?
Yes, I was off. What was I off? I was off about 6 miles per hour, something like that, between 5 and 6. I put the Diablo PCM swap on it, modified PCM swap. One, I wanted to get my speedometer back, right? You can buy something pretty cheap to do that, but I'm also to get some fuel mileage back. You're going to put some bigger tires on, jack your truck up, you're going to lose a few miles per gallon. Well, putting this PCM on there and the tuner actually got me better than when I was stock fuel mileage wise, which is you know, it's incredible. I mean, it's also dialed in. My speedometer's dialed in. I mean, the whole truck's just dialed in. Plus, I'm probably running 30 to 40 horsepower more than stock just by these upgrades, right? It's unbelievable truck. I mean, unbelievable.
So I want to talk a little bit more about the suspension. So again, you've got the Rough Country 3.5-inch bolt-on suspension lift kit with the lifted M3 struts and the premium M3 shocks. So this is like a complete kit. You did the strut replacement, shocks, upper control arms, the whole shebang. From what you were saying earlier, so correct me if I'm wrong here, this was kind of like you wanted the balance of usability plus a little bit of increase in ride height and capability of the truck, right? Is that what made you choose this?
Yeah, looks was for sure is always a thing, right? You always want to have some decent looks. I still wanted to be able to use my truck, you know, as far as off-road capability. And like I said, climbing over trees, I got to do that quite frequently. In the wintertime, I've always got a chainsaw on the back of my truck just in case. Now I can climb over quite a few of them and not have to worry about it. So that's helped out quite a bit too. And sometimes you got to go off-road to get around these trees that are laying across, you know, go off to the side of the road and drive around them. So it's helped out a considerable amount in that area as well.
Did you have any issues when you went to get the alignment done? Did they have any issue getting it aligned?
No. Nope. It was all straightforward, fast, and in and out. The only thing that I ran into, right, so there was no rub with these, with this lift kit, putting this size tires and wheels on there. I didn't have any rub until I put the spacers on. When I put the spacers on, it kicked me out far enough to where I started rubbing on my front flaps, and I had to do a little bit of cutting underneath, but you know, after I got that out of the way, everything stayed the same.
All right, but since you've had the trimming, you haven't had any issues then, right?
No, and it was a piece of cake. You know, you just park in the garage and turn it side to side and see your rub marks, and there it is, and you cut it out and off you go.
Would you do anything differently knowing what you know now and what's next?
I don't think I'd change what I've done. I'm happy with where it's at. I really am. It handles so well and it accelerates. Brakes are going to be a need. I can see that because it gets going really fast, but it still stops the same as it did stock. And, so I'm going to have to upgrade the brakes. I like power, and I'm really entertaining a supercharger here in the near future.
All right, well, Darren, thank you so much for being here with me today and chatting about your truck. I'm excited to see what you do with it next, mostly that supercharger, so I hope you get that soon. Again, for everybody who's watching at home, Darren is driving a 2020 Ram 1500 Laramie. For wheels, he's running the V-Rock recoils in satin. These are 20 by 9.5 inch with a -5mm offset. He's also got the Mammoth 2-inch billet wheel spacers, so that combined with the wheels makes for an aggressive stance. For tires, he's running the Open Range ATs, and they are 295/60 R20s, equating to about a 33 by 11.5 inch tire. And for suspension, he's got the Rough Country 3.5-inch bolt-on suspension lift kit with the lifted M3 struts and premium M3 shocks. So Darren, thank you again for being here with me. Thank you all for watching, and remember, for all things Ram, be sure to keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.